Okay, we're actually having people join. That's awesome. So we're definitely just gonna. Before we get started.
Hello, everybody. Can you all hear me? Sweet.
This is challenging. I keep getting notifications on my phone and it makes this more difficult. Yes.
Well, maybe you're well aware that Alexis is the mentor.
Here, and then Chrissy's here. We love that.
Justin. What's up, Justin?
Rebecca just joined.
Justin, I got you, my man.
Definitely just gonna wait until it's 7 o'clock to start.
We got 6:59. One more minute.
Yes, I cannot see the time on my phone, so I have my laptop.
Where's the bathroom, Mikey? What?
That's a question from one college student to another.
Oh my goodness. I don't know where the bathroom is wherever you are. Sorry, buddy. I wish I could help you out. I understand the need is there.
Awesome. People are still joining. We love that. So it's officially 7 o'clock, so we'll get started. So I just wanted to welcome all the Wolverines to our Instagram Live. This is an ongoing series throughout the summer, and this specific episode is called One College Student to Another. So it's just me and Michael answering any questions that you may have about the college experience at UM-Dearborn. My name is Alexis, and I am a senior at UM-Dearborn. And I am majoring in HR management and political science, and this is my second year being an orientation leader. So that is why I'm hosting this Instagram Live, and I have Michael with me, so go ahead.
Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Barrett. I am going into my junior year here at UM-Dearborn. I absolutely love it. I am double majoring in marketing and finance, and I'm glad to be here today to share some knowledge with you all. And this is also my second year as an orientation leader.
So feel free to pop any questions in the comments if you have any, but we definitely do have some questions we've already got submitted to us, so we're just going to go through them. Like I said, at any time, pop one in the comments and we'll take a look at that and answer it for you. So obviously we both have had some experience at UM-Dearborn. We've been there for quite some time, so we have quite a bit of knowledge to share with you. We are kind of trained to do this. So the first question is, what's one piece of advice you'd give an incoming student?
My piece of advice, it's a great question, and I think it's very underrated, but I think just kind of being yourself, finding something that you really love and enjoy, and getting involved on campus. Find your part on campus and make a contribution in some way. My part on campus is to be a campus leader and share the knowledge that I have and my experiences with other students that are coming into college. So I think it's a great thing, and that's my biggest piece of advice, is getting involved and making the most of your college experience and just enjoying yourself along the way.
And I would add to that to get some kind of system down, especially with how the fall looks coming up this semester. Have some kind of planner you use Google Calendar, use your phone, rely on your syllabus a lot because the professor outlines the entire semester for you usually. So just get some kind of organization system down, whatever works for you, but it definitely will be helpful in the long run because you do not have your teachers standing over you anymore telling you when everything is due, telling you have homework assignments to do. So it's definitely all on you to get that stuff done.
Absolutely. It's a great piece of advice to definitely stay organized and stay on top of everything in college, and it'll help you be very successful. Alexis, so I mentioned involvement. Just what are some things that you are involved in on campus?
Yeah, so there's so many ways you can get involved. I think we have like what over 150 student orgs, 140 somewhere around there. But I am in Phi sorority. If you've seen my Instagram post on the Dearborn Wolverine page today, I'm the vice president of chapter development. I've been in for 2 years and I love it. Just have that group of people on campus that you always know and can always rely on. I'm also a supplemental instructor for the College of Business, so we'll talk a little bit more about what supplemental instruction is later. I'm also an orientation leader, which I love doing. I would do it every single summer if I could. And I've also attended meetings for the Pre-Law Association because I'm interested in going to law school, and I've also attended meetings for the Society for Human Resource Management since that's my major.
Awesome. Yeah. So as far as what I'm involved in, I am actually the head equipment manager for our men's ice hockey team, along with Justin and Ezra, who might be in this chat right now. And I absolutely love that. I'm a big sports guy. I'm involved in intramural sports. I do 3 different intramural sports: volleyball, basketball, and broomball. So a great way to be involved and meet a lot of people that like sports just like I do. Also, this is my second year being an orientation leader, and like Alexis said, I would do it every summer if I could. I always tell my boss that I would do it for free, just because I love it so much, and it's just a great experience to have. I also attended the WOW camp, which unfortunately is not able to happen this year, but it's a great thing to do, and I was also a WOW counselor. I work in the admissions office as well, and I also attend a lot of different business-related events for our business student organizations on campus.
So yes, there's definitely something for everybody, like student orgs related to your major, student orgs related to your hobbies. If you have a certain religion, there's definitely groups for that, groups to do with your ethnicity or your culture, so something for everybody. So I highly, highly recommend you find something that you like to do other than just going to classes on campus because it makes it that much more fun.
Definitely.
So with that being said, what is your favorite part about college?
Oh, favorite part about college? Man, everything. College has been the best time of my life. I absolutely love it. And I think for me, it's just meeting all of the wonderful people that I've met and having like a great support system and a great group of friends around. Um, Alexis, you're included in that. You're welcome. You get to be around me all the time. So, but yeah, just having a lot of friends and just really taking the time to have some free time. You set your own schedule in college. You're in charge of making your own schedule. You're an adult. You make a lot of decisions. So it's just a great thing. And I think that's one of the most underrated parts of college as well, is just that you feel like yourself and you get to explore who you are as a person and really become who you want to be in the future.
Yes, I agree. My favorite part, I definitely would say, is the independence and freedom that comes along with it. Because if you don't like waking up early in the morning and going to an 8 a.m. class, you do not have to. Most of the time, I don't start my first class until 11 a.m. That way, avoid rush hour traffic in the morning. And it just works for me. So you get to do what works for you. And if you can only take 2 or 3 classes a day, because otherwise it'd be too much, you can absolutely do that. You have the freedom to take what classes you want. You can explore different majors. You can take classes that interest you, and you're not set to this predetermined schedule like you were in high school. So I really, 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 really like that because that's the whole point of college, is finding something you love and finding something that you can see yourself doing for the rest of your life as a career. So, and then for just people who are joining, just so you know, we're just doing a Q&A session called From One College Student to Another. If you have any questions, just pop them in the comments. But we do have a already list that we've got going that we're just going through right now. But like I said, feel free to pop them in the comments. So our next question is.
So I have one for you actually. What is your most fun experience that you've had in college so far? If you had to pick one thing, because I know there's a lot of fun things in college, but if you had to pick one thing, what's one thing that you say would be the most fun that you've had?
So, like you said, that's a definite hard one because there's been so many fun things. But the cool thing about being a U of M-Dearborn student, you're technically a U of M student, so you get to get season tickets to sporting events in Ann Arbor. So every single football game that I've gone to for U of M has been the absolute most fun time. The student section is just a whole different experience. It's so much fun. You're there with your friends. You're getting hyped, cheering on the team. Normally we play really well, so it's a fun time and very enjoyable to watch. And just because Saturdays are for football, that's just how it goes. And just going down to Ann Arbor every weekend, grabbing breakfast with all the friends, and then heading to the tailgate, and then heading to the game. It's just part of our routine, so it's been great.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. I think for me, also even just like even UM-Dearborn home games, in particular, my most fun experience is homecoming week, I would say, because during the homecoming week, there's so many different events that are going on every single day, whether it be the Student versus Alumni flag football game that I participate in every year, whether it be cardboard boat races on the pond, which is absolutely hilarious to watch people just sink in the pond after trying to make a cardboard boat and race it across the pond. So I love that. And there's just things that are going on all the time on our campus, and just being involved in those things and meeting people along the way is just a great thing and probably my most fun experience. So yeah, sporting events is definitely just one thing, but I just like homecoming week in general and all the different events that are associated with it.
See, and that's the awesome thing about U of M Dearborn is that we are kind of known as a community campus, obviously, but we have all these fun things that are always going on that makes it seem like so much more than that and gives you so many reasons to actually stay on campus rather than just going to class and then going home. There's so many different things to do, so you don't just go home after class.
Yeah, I'm on campus usually every day from like 6 in the morning until at least 10 o'clock at night. I just go home and sleep in my own bed. That's pretty much it. Sometimes I steal my parents' food too, but other than that, I'm usually on campus finding something to do.
So our next question is, what was one of the biggest surprises of college?
Wow. For me, growing up, you watch a lot of movies, and in high school, a lot of teachers will like try and make you like super scared of what college is. Like it's just a professor just up on the front of the board, just scrambling to write things down, and you're scrambling to write things down. And it's like the super hard time where you study 24/7, and you're like late, you're up until like 3 o'clock in the morning studying every day. And like that is not the case. If you want it to be that, if you want that to be the case, you can. Like, don't cram for an exam though. I definitely do not recommend that in college. I tried it once and was very unsuccessful, so don't do that. But yeah, at UM-Dearborn, I think one thing that helps that is most of the professors know that we're a smaller school and people go there for more interactive education. And they tailor their classes to be that way. They're going to want to get to know you. You can get to know them, whether that be by going to their office hours, emailing them, just having a conversation during a class, whatever that is. The average class size is 26 students. So it's just like a high school class, and a lot of professors like treat it that way. The material obviously is not, but it's not what a lot of people think it is. So I definitely recommend like just getting to know your professors and make the most of that experience, because it's definitely not what you're going to expect, I don't think, on your first day.
Yeah, so what was so surprising about me, for me, when I went to college is how awesome the professors are. Like, you usually seem so intimidated by this person who's your college professor because, like you said, growing up, you had this, like, idea of that college is this big, scary place, but no, the professors are so approachable. They're there for you. They love what they talk about. They love what they know, so that makes class that much better because they're teaching what they're passionate about, so they want to help you. They're there for you. They're great resources because more than likely they've worked in your field, so that's a great connection to have. And like I said, they're super, super willing to help you, and they're there for you. And I mean, they give great advice. I went to office hours from one of my professors because I was curious on whether I should pick up political science as a major. I only started off as a business major. And I'm like, I really do like political science, but I don't know if it's worth being a minor or a major. And I talked to my first political science professor, and he gave me really great advice. And now here I am as a dual degree major 3 years later. So I mean, they're definitely really there for you. So that's really nice.
Yeah, I work at a golf course right now, and I had one of my economics professors from my freshman year actually came to the golf course today, and we just had a conversation. And he was like, "Oh, how you doing?" And I was like, I just told him, and it was really cool just to like see a professor outside, like in the real world, and just know that like they all are super friendly and they want to get to know you. And like he recognized me as soon as he came into the pro shop today, which was really cool to know. Um, Alexis, what are some of the free resources or the resources that we have on our campus that you've used or that you know about that you think incoming students should know about and should definitely utilize?
So earlier I said that I was a supplemental instructor, so that's what I saved this for. So it's something we have on our campus. It's a little different than tutoring, but we also do have tutoring services on campus as well. Where a student who has taken the class previously hosts study sessions or like discussion sessions twice a week for an hour. And it's for the more difficult classes. So you see it a lot in the sciences. You see it in more difficult like math classes, and you see it in some of the business classes as well. They have them in all 4 colleges on campus. But yeah, so a student runs these who already took the class, did well in the class, and they create study plans for you guys. They do practice problems. So I do it for DS 301, which is a business course, and it's a great time. Students really like it. They think it's very helpful. We definitely do exam review before an exam comes up, and it just helps reinforce the concepts, especially if you just need to hear somebody explain it a different way. That's really helpful because sometimes you hear the professor say it and you're like, I don't really get it. But then you hear somebody else explain it a different way and it makes a lot more sense. Other than
You're
that,
actually my supplemental instructor for my DS 301 course. So
um, yeah, so that's a fun time. And another one is all the colleges have research librarians that you can utilize. And for one of my classes, we were actually required to meet with the College of Business research librarian for a group project paper that we had going on all semester. And she was super helpful. She asked us what our topic was. She pointed us in the direction of what kind of databases to use to find like scholarly resources. And then she even like started pulling up articles, thinking of ideas of what would be helpful for us. So that's totally free, and she totally gave us a head start on our paper, which in the long run benefited us so much. So these things all come included with our tuition, so we might as well use them. So yeah, do you know of any more resources on campus that you like or that you use?
yeah, I like the Math Learning Center and Writing Learning Center. I have not used the math one myself because I placed into calculus, and in the College of Business you don't have to take calculus. Um, but I like the Writing Learning Center a lot just because in college you write a lot of papers, and you can go there and make an appointment with them or do it online, and just meet with them, and they're gonna help you out. They'll revise your paper, give you some tips on how to make it better. They'll talk about where to start for a paper if you don't even know where to start. They won't sit there while you write it, which is obviously not what they're there for. But it's completely free. You just make an appointment with them, and they're there to help you. They want you to succeed, and it's just a really cool resource to have. So those are both in the College of Arts, Sciences, and Letters building, and completely free. So if you're struggling in math and you have a math exam coming up, or you just need some help or some extra practice, stop in, make an appointment with them. Also, another one is ITS. In college, there's a lot of technology-based things. So whether it be your own personal laptop, any sort of device that you're using for college, ITS is there. All it takes is a phone call. If you need help with your username and password, make a phone call, and they're there to help you and get anything squared away, whether anything for technology-based. Those are the ones that I have for you.
Okay, so moving on to our next question. What is a standard class like?
A standard class, great question that not a lot of people think about. So whoever asked that question, fantastic. Like I said earlier, a standard class is 26 students. That's the average. And basically, it's kind of like a high school classroom. You know, there's about 30 desks usually, or tables with chairs. The science classes tend to be a little bit larger than that. So you can have anywhere from 10 students to 40 students in a class. And basically all it is it's a standard classroom. You know, there's a whiteboard or a chalkboard. There's projectors and screens. And the professors are just there in front of you at the front lecturing. And no professor has like their own classroom. Everyone shares the same classrooms and moves around. So it's not like you're going to walk into this big room with a bunch of intimidating things like hanging from the walls. It's just a normal classroom. So it's a really, that's something that I liked a lot in college, just because I felt like I was important. I wasn't like sitting way up at the top of a lecture hall. And I, you know, in a more interactive class. So I think that's definitely something to take into consideration as well, just that you're going to have that experience in college.
And totally to add to that, when you get like deeper into your major and start like taking upper level courses, you're going to see the class sizes shrink even more. I took an elective for my major last semester, and I think we had 16 students in it, and it was awesome. So because we all knew each other's name, we all worked together on like assignments every single week. So that's really cool to have that experience versus being in like a lecture hall with 200 students. And just for people that continue to join, if you have questions about college, just pop them in the comments. We're monitoring them constantly. Otherwise, we're just going to keep going through the questions we already have.
Absolutely. So moving on to the next question, Alexis, why do professors have office hours and what are they used for?
So the short and simple answer is that they're required to have office hours. But on the bright side, professors want to have office hours for their students because the point is to make them accessible like outside of the classroom, because there's sometimes like if you're struggling in the class and like you don't feel comfortable asking your question in front of the entire class, that's something that offices hours are for. If you have a difficult concept and you want to help on that, or you're stuck on a homework problem, or you just need some kind of direction, they are there to make appointments with you, or they, like I said, they have designated office hours already. So a professor might have office hours on Tuesday from 12 to 1, and you can pop in anytime usually. Otherwise, they say, oh, if that time doesn't work for you, you can make an appointment with them. So it's just for them to be available to you outside of the classroom, which is super helpful. And like I said, I went to my professor's office hours just to get advice, and he was happy to help.
Great answer. I have nothing else to add to that. Fantastic.
Okay, well then our next question is, why should students meet with their advisors regularly?
Short and sweet, because it will help you in the long run. Now let me give you a little bit more detail. So your academic advisors, they are professionals. This is their job. They do this every day. They're there to help you, whether that be provide you with resources, give you advice, talk to you about certain things that we have on campus that could help you, point you in the right direction for something. But also their main responsibility is to meet with you and discuss schedules and classes. My advisor, his name is Jesse. I love him. Great guy. I go to him all the time for personal advice. I go to him for literally everything. Alexis is laughing because she knows him. But yeah, I meet with him. He helped me set up a 4-year plan because I want to graduate in 4 years with a double major. So he helped me set up a plan to do that. And it's just really good because they're going to talk to you about options that you have. You might not even know this, but at the end of your junior year, who knows, if you've taken a certain amount of classes or your electives were all kind of related to the same thing, who knows, if you take one extra class, maybe you could have a minor. They're there to help you and talk to you about those things. I didn't even know that going into college I could be a double major. I met with him and I was picked on one thing, but I was like, I might switch to this. I really like both. I was originally set to be a finance major, but I really liked marketing too. And he said, well, you tested high and you have all these electives that you can take. Why not double major in 4 years and have 2 majors instead? And I was like, that's a great idea. So you might not even know what the options are out there, and they're there to help you with that. But I think the biggest thing that's helpful that they do is setting up a plan for when you should graduate, what classes to take when, providing a good balance for different classes, like some more difficult, some not as difficult courses, things like that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I love my advisors. I meet with advisors in Castle and in COB because of my dual degree program that I'm in. And I remember when I was first even looking at this, I'm like, crap, I need to meet with a Castle advisor because I don't even know if this is possible. Like, is it even realistic to do a major in political science and an HR management? And they helped me like set up a plan. I told them when I expected to be done, and they told me if it was realistic or not. So it's just super helpful having those people who know about what classes you need to take, all the prerequisites you need to take, what classes you can take at what time, when they're offered, what kinds of methods they're offered in. And most importantly, sometimes you may have registration holds, so you might be required to meet with your advisors. Especially as an incoming freshman, you will definitely have those holds on your account, and you will need to meet with your start advisor in order to get those removed. So if you want to sign up for classes for the next semester, you might want to make those appointments because that'll be helpful in the long run. So the classes do not fill up.
Absolutely. And again, just a reminder, if you have any questions about college or any advice that you would like or tips, anything like that, you're nervous, post anything in the comment section, and we're here to help you and give you some advice and kind of get you through and get you going for your college experience. Right now, we are currently running through some questions that we have received, so we're going to keep it going. Alexis, what is the most helpful way that you have been able to stay organized, or how do you stay organized in college? Because it's definitely a need in college.
So I'm definitely one of those people that color code everything. I was that person in high school that had the designated colors for notebooks and folders to the designated subjects. So I definitely do that just to keep everything together. And I even like organize my backpack in like specific days. So if I know that I have these classes on Tuesday, I put all of that stuff together in my backpack so that I don't forget anything. Because I did lose a folder one time that was the most devastating thing in the world. So to avoid that, I definitely just made sure my backpack was a little bit more organized. But on top of that, I also have a planner, and that is my lifesaver. At the beginning of class, I normally will go into class, pull out my planner, pull out the syllabus, and see if the syllabus has any information on what we're going to need to do and know for the next class. I write it in my planner, and I create like a checklist of things I need to get done. And then I just go through everything and check it off. And that's the biggest thing. Oh, I always carry a pencil case around too, because if I didn't, I would never have something to write with. So that's always very handy as well. But yeah, just staying on top of all things. Make sure you don't lose anything. Make sure you stay
Yeah,
nice and neat, like your folders aren't just exploding and your notebooks aren't all crinkled up, and take care of everything.
yeah.
And don't spill coffee in your backpack. I've also done that. So be careful with that. Anything to add?
Oh,
What do you
geez.
do?
Yeah, clearly she's a very organized person. So am I. I also carry a pencil case just so I know I always have supplies that I might need. And I also organize my backpack by day, so it also just takes away a lot of the weight that if you're not going to need something that day, why not, like, why carry it around with you the whole day? Like, it makes no sense. But yeah, definitely folders, binders, notebooks. Color code them if you need to. I do that. I just match them up for classes, so it's easier to just pull them right out as needed. But I think another thing is, in addition to a planner or writing things down, it's very, very, very important to check your University of Michigan email address every single day, because professors will email you. We'll send out mass emails to the class with any updates or info, any changes to the class, deadline dates, anything like that that is coming up. They can email you. So check that every day. I check it 3 or 4 times a day at least, usually a lot more than that. So definitely be checking that all the time. And also, we use Canvas for our online classes, or for all of our classes in general. We use Canvas as our online source for professors to use to pass along information and stuff like that. So be checking all of your courses on Canvas in the announcements and all of that every day. Just stay on top of it. I try and set a schedule where I check it at 9 a.m., noon, 3 p.m., 6 p.m., and then before I go to sleep. So I try to check it every few hours just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Stop laughing at me. It's true. But I check it a lot. Just sometimes if I miss it, I'll just check it whenever. But stay on top of it. You are going to be treated as an adult, and you are responsible for yourself and your own materials. So definitely stay on top of it.
And just something to add to that, you know, we all have smartphones nowadays. So they have a Canvas app and they have a Gmail app. So there's no reason or no excuse to say that, oh, I didn't get that email when you can get notifications sent to your phone. I know I'm kind of crazy too. When I get an email to my UMich email, I'm kind of checking it right away too, because you never know what it is, especially if it's from a professor or from like one of the like departments on campus, always giving updates or something like that. And you can like set your notifications on Canvas too. So if you want to get notified when an assignment gets graded, you can get those notifications, and you can be the one that has a panic attack that just saw your exam 2 got graded and you're freaking out and want to check it right away. That's definitely me. But it's super helpful that you have that right on your phone. It's super helpful.
Absolutely.
So with that, the next question is, have you ever gotten lost on campus?
Okay, so actually, on my very first day on campus, I hadn't been to campus in quite some time. I went for a tour, but that was probably 4 or 5 months before I actually came on campus, because I went to one of the very first few orientations. So my first day, I knew I was in the right building, but I didn't know exactly where my class was, so I definitely just asked somebody. And just know that we are a super friendly campus. Everybody is there to help you. I just stopped a random person and asked, do you know where this is? And they explained to me that the room numbers, if it starts with a 1, it's on the first floor. If it starts with a 2, it's on the second floor. If it starts with a 3, it's on the third floor, and so forth. So my room was 251, so I knew that I had to go up a floor. So I walked up to the second floor, or I think I took the elevator because I'm lazy. But it was a lot easier because there were signs everywhere pointing to the right classroom. So people are always willing to help. That's my point here. So if you ever do get lost, just ask. Everyone is super friendly. The campus is small, so you're going to know a lot of people. It's small enough to where you're going to see a lot of the same people, but see a lot of new people as well. So definitely just ask somebody if you need to. But after my first day, I knew exactly where I was going. It takes about 6 or 7 minutes to walk from one end of campus to the other. And you typically have at least 15 minutes between classes, and sometimes even more. And like I said, you set your own schedule. So if you need more time, give yourself more time. Fairlane is down the road a little bit, so that takes a little bit longer if you're going to drive over there, or you can take the shuttle. And again, it's less than the 15 minutes. I've never been late to a class going that way, especially while taking the shuttle, which is really good. Free shuttle on campus, by the way, to get you around campus. But yeah, it takes 6 or 7 minutes at a standard pace to walk from one end of campus to the other. So you have plenty of time. Stop and get a drink, stop and go to the restroom, anything you need, grab a bite to eat, whatever it is. You have plenty of time. So it's not common to get lost. And after your first day or two on campus, I promise you, you will not get lost. Really small. It's a great time.
I would like to add to that that my first semester I was in a walking boot, and I was able to walk from one end of campus to the other in like 10 to 15 minutes. So even then, you still have plenty of time to navigate campus. I've never gotten lost on campus either. But before I started my semester at UM-Dearborn, I was the kind of person who was like, I'm going to go to campus when there's nobody there and try to find where my classes are. So when the first day comes around, I'm not kind of just wandering and trying to figure out where I'm going. And like Michael already said, those shuttles are super helpful because I accidentally scheduled myself to be on main campus, Fairlane, and then back at main campus. So I definitely had to utilize the shuttle services because I did not want to be driving back and forth, because then parking becomes a mess. You only have so much time in between those classes, and then finding parking would be a little bit more difficult because that's when everybody's coming and leaving at the same time, so it just gets a little congested. So yeah, for sure. Campus
I can add to that.
Go ahead.
As far as parking goes, a lot of people like to say that parking is hard on the UM-Dearborn campus. However, tip of advice, I don't think it's rocket science, but most classes run an hour and 15 minutes, starting at 8 a.m. So 8 a.m. to 9:15 is a class. 9:30 to 10:45 is a class. 11 to 12:15 is a class, and so on throughout the course of the day. Now, if you think about it, if you have an 11 a.m. class and the class before that got out at 10:45, that means that those people are going to be leaving at 10:45 or moving their cars to a different building, most likely. Therefore, if you're there about 20 minutes before your class is scheduled to begin, people are going to be leaving and you can find a parking spot in your preferred area rather than all the way across campus somewhere. If you're the type of person that's going to show up 2 minutes before your class, now all of those parking spots are taken by the people that are coming early, and now it's a convenience thing. There is a parking spot for everybody, but you might have to walk a little bit farther. So I recommend getting there at least 15 to 20 minutes before your class, and you will be perfectly fine parking. I have never once had to park wherever I did not want to park because I'm the on-time person. So.
And we definitely have a parking structure on campus too. Just might not be in the location you like, but it's definitely backed by the Natural Sciences building and Social Sciences building. So if that's where your classes are, perfect. There's always, always, always parking in the parking structure. And just for people and for people who continue to join, just feel free to pop any questions you have about the college experience in the comments. We'll get to those if you have those, but we'll just keep going through the questions we already do have. So Michael, did you have another question?
I do. What are some good study areas that you have used or that you know about on campus that you think students should know about?
So with me being a college of business major, I absolutely love Fairlane Center South. I'm always there constantly when I had classes. And there's an area, if you walk straight back behind Picasso, there's just this giant like lounge type area. And I love sitting back there and doing homework, meeting up with friends, working on group projects. It's perfect for that. Also in Fairlane Center North, there's also a smaller little lounge area in there, but there's also a hallway that has like on both sides like study rooms. And if you like get there at a good time, there's usually some empty, but again, if you want to work on a group project in there, if you just want to study by yourself, those are just super nice to use. And then something I found out with being an orientation leader in the Natural Sciences building, there's these really cool little cutout areas in the main hallway where there's like booths, there's like screens, there's like whiteboards on the wall, and like you can hook up your laptop to the screen if you want, if you're like working on a group project. And I've never studied in there, but I'm sure it's really great. I'm not a science person, never been in that building, never had classes in that building, so I never go there, but if I was, I would love those areas for sure.
Definitely. For me, I definitely agree that Fairlane is a great place as a college of business student. I also like studying on main campus just because I can study with friends. I am the complete person, I am like completely the person that does not study in dead silence, which is weird. At least most people think that. I don't think it's weird, but I like to study with some sort of noise. Even when I'm at home, I always have like either the radio playing, I'm listening to music, I have the TV on, watching a game, something like that. So I like to study in the university center just because there's people around and just some background noise, and I can study with friends, kind of out in the open. I can grab a bite to eat at the Picasso there if I want to, whatever it is. So I like studying in the university center. I also like studying on the second floor of the library because there's bigger tables and it's you don't have to be super quiet, anything like that. It's just kind of a large group study area. So I think that's a great place to study with friends as well. And if you're doing group projects, same thing. Also know, for those of you that are silent studiers or you like it quiet when you study, the third and fourth floor of the library, the third floor is mostly silent. They try to keep it to a very, very, very light whisper. If you do have to speak, you just have your little individual cubby that you sit at and you study there. The fourth floor is completely silent, where you have you can hear a needle drop. So there are study areas for everybody, and the library is open during finals week, 24 hours a day. So definitely take advantage of that. If you have an exam the next day that you're cramming for, go to the library and stay up and get through it. You'll be there.
So it looks like that Solomon's actually studied in those little areas in the Natural Sciences building, and he says it's beautiful. So we're going to take his word for it and say that's an awesome space to study on campus. So we love that. That's great that we have all these fun little secret areas that you discover just by being on campus that you realize are just really great and very nice to do homework in and study in and just hang out.
Also in the library, there's a Starbucks cafe, so if you are studying late and you need a wake me up coffee, they got you there. And just so for those of you that don't know, Solomon, he is our orientation program assistant this year. He is a wonderful human being. We love him very much. So thank you for joining us, Solomon.
Like, what a nice guest to have on our show. It's great. I feel so honored to have somebody of such great stature on our show today. So the next question is, what is your favorite spot on campus? A little different than just study spot, but like where would you probably be most of the time?
I have two, actually. Mine is either the University Center, just to be hanging out with my friends while I'm there, or the field house. Like I said, I work for the men's ice hockey team, and I'm there doing things all day long pretty much when I'm not in class, whether it be sharpening the guys' skates, fixing up their helmets, setting up jerseys for practice or games, prepping for a game that day if we have a game, just getting the rink ready to go, whatever it is. Or I'm there shooting hoops with my friends, completely free to rent basketballs and stuff. The Workout Wellness Center is there as well, free for students, and you can also skate on the ice for free as well. During open skate, I like to go out and skate with some of the guys too. So I'm either at the field house playing some sports or being active, doing something in the locker room, anything like that, or I am in the University Center with my friends, just kind of hanging out, having a good time. Sometimes we play euchre because I'm a big euchre player. So we just have a good time. So yeah. What about you?
That's such a Michigan thing to play euchre.
It is.
But I would second the University Center thing as well. Obviously, it's just the main hub on campus. There's all those booths and tables, and it's just like the happening area of campus. So it's like you just kind of love being there. And I guarantee if you just walk through the University Center at like the middle of the day, like, you know, like noon or 1 o'clock, you will probably see somebody you know. Then that's the awesome thing. So you'll know somebody, so then you know you always have a seat because more than likely they'll let you sit there. So that's always nice, just hanging out with your friends, eating your lunch, doing some homework. I definitely do all of those things in the University Center. Plus, that's where a lot of events happen. So if you're one to get involved on campus, that's a good place to be. I know for my sorority, we've done bake sales in the University Center. So there's always something going on, some kind of event. But other than that, my other favorite spot is Fairlane Center. I already said that. I love that building so much. Because like I said, I see so many people I know that I'm always stopping and talking to somebody, never just sitting by myself. And it's great because it like has that really small feel. But yeah, I miss campus so much.
Me too. Me too.
But yeah, lots of good places on campus. You'll definitely find your favorite spot as well.
Yeah. So kind of going along the same trend, what is your favorite event that you've been to on campus?
So I definitely have two. This first one, I was kind of surprised that I enjoyed it so much because my professor offered us extra credit if we went to this event, and it was a criminal justice career fair type deal where there was like 6 or 7 different police like departments there. It was actually really cool because when I went into the parking lot, I was really confused. I'm like, why is there 17 cop cars parked in the UC parking lot right now? But then it made so much sense. So there was, like I said, 7 different police departments. There was the Oakland prosecutor's office, the Wayne County prosecutor's office. I got to talk to 2 different attorneys from the U.S. prosecuting attorney's office. And then I also talked, I talked to a public defender's office. So it's like I got so many great connections and just learned so many things and just confirmed that like I definitely want to go to law school. So that was like really enjoyable, and I didn't think like I'd get that much out of it, and I'm actually really glad that I went. And then my second favorite event is always, this normally happens like once per semester, like at the beginning of the semester. There is a giant student organization festival type thing. Most of the time there's free food, so if you like free food, that's always a bonus.
There's free food everywhere on campus.
Yes, you can filter out which events have free food or not on Victor's link if you want to. But yeah, so that's just for most of the student orgs. They can rent out tables and just promote themselves. You can walk around all the tables, see what everybody's about, and just get a feel for everything like all at once, which is really nice. And just like learn what they're all about, learn if they have upcoming events, learn when they meet and things like that. And it's a fun time to go to. My sorority is always usually there, so that means I'm usually always there if I'm able to be, and it's not during a time I have class. So that's definitely a fun event, though, to be at.
Absolutely.
What about
you? Very difficult. I love campus, and I go to a lot of things. And I love everything there. For me, I would say it's probably the homecoming hockey game my freshman year. It was absolutely crazy. The whole place was packed. And that was before I worked for the team. So that's actually what kind of got me like really excited to work for the team when I came along that job. But that's definitely one of them. The Wild Camp that I went to was one of them. And homecoming week, just in general, the student versus alumni flag football game. So fun to play in. You get to meet a lot of great people that, love the campus, that went there, and it's just a great time.
So we definitely reached our end of the questions. So, I mean, if there's any last-minute questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. But I kind of did think of another important one. So many students are probably asking, like, how do you get your textbooks? Where do you get your textbooks? What's the whole deal with that? So do you have any insight on that?
Yeah. So the UM-Dearborn bookstore is a great resource. That's where I find what textbooks I need for each class. They have them listed out by professor and everything. So that's a good one. And the UM-Dearborn bookstore does price match. So if you find a book cheaper online for from another source, you can take it to them and they will price match it. And that's helpful because if they have a book in stock, you don't have to get it shipped or delivered. But yeah, definitely check out the different online sources, Amazon, Chegg. Those are the 2 main ones that I use. But just kind of Google the textbook that you need and see what comes up. Sometimes you can get them used for very cheap. So definitely check it out. And like I said, it's a great place to go is the UM-Dearborn bookstore, just because that's going to be, kind of the easiest spot to get them.
So we definitely had a question that came in, and I'm actually not sure of the answer. Michael, do you know? She's asking do we know what homecoming is going to look like this year with everything that's going on? Are the events canceled?
Well,
do you know?
Right now, I'm pretty sure from what I've heard that the events are going to be canceled. Depending on what happens in the winter semester, it's possible that maybe they'll consider moving it to the winter semester. I'm not sure, but as of now, I know that the campus is closed, and is going to stay closed until August 22nd, for the most part. And there's only going to be limited classes that are going to be on campus, and that list is online. I have a hard time thinking that they're going to have a homecoming week, typically when it would be, October-ish, with large group events going on. So I have a hard time believing that we'll have that, unfortunately.
We could possibly see things moved online because a lot of people are also asking, like, how am I supposed to get involved in student orgs if we're not on campus? But the great thing about that is when we transitioned in the winter to online classes, like towards the end of the semester, a lot of the student organizations kept holding meetings via Zoom. So you can still be involved even if it means just being at home on a Zoom call. So that's just super beneficial.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to work on trying to get some of the events to be online as best as they can, you know. But obviously you can't play like a football game online.
Right.
Or like where I know as far as the hockey game, the homecoming hockey game, that's not going to be happening because the first half of our schedule for first semester has been canceled already, which is very sad. But yeah, so I have a hard time believing that they're going to be in person at least. They might be online. Great question though.
So it looks like we are coming to an end. So I just wanted to thank everybody who joined, who participated, and I'm super excited that you attended this episode of Hey Wolverines. Definitely watch out for more Instagram lives throughout the rest of the summer. Can't believe it's already almost August. And definitely stay tuned and keep a lookout for more Mastering Mise en Bleu podcasts. We definitely have some good ones coming up. I know next week we have one on internships and co-ops, and then the following week we have one on Greek life as well. So definitely stay tuned for those. We are keeping ourselves busy this summer, trying to keep students engaged and get excited for the fall. And with that, Michael, do you have anything else to add?
No, I just thank you all for tuning in, and like she said, stay tuned for more to come. A lot of great information coming at you this summer.
Awesome. And with great parting words, go blue, go Dearborn. We love it here.
Absolutely. Go blue.
Have a great night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.